I won't keep you too long. I just wanted to get you all here and get the wrestlers and the managers here and have some desserts and kind of give recognition to everybody that deserves recognition this year, which is really all of you. Wrestling season's a long season. They even added a week this past season, so it seemed even longer than before. But we grinded through it, and we finished up pretty darn good. I got to call out Jacoby again for the second year in a row, because every fall we start practice. This was after 2 years ago when we were state runners-up. So the next season we start the very first practice, and I'm looking around the room and I'm like, we have potential this year to do really good things. And Jacoby's rolling his eyes at me. You remember this, right?
No, I didn't.
And we finished up pretty good last year. So then the same thing came this year, and this is after graduating 20 some odd people. And I looked around the room and I was like, we're in a good position here to do a lot of things in the county and the region and the state. And again, I got eye rolling from a couple people. And it was a heck of a year, okay? I don't think anybody really expected us to be able to do what we did this year. County runner-up, traditional and dual region champions, finished 6th at traditional state. For the third year, and I left the medal or the trophy over there, but for the third year in a row, the Cobb Coaches Association has voted Lassiter the team of the year for the county. Now you remember that, right? But again, I'd like to start just with some thanks, and I have to make notes because I'm getting old and forgetting stuff. So, but first, I'd like to start by thanking our the amount of time that they put in running tournaments, running hospitality rooms, running concession stands, taking care of stuff that we need for various events. A lot of it behind the scenes doesn't really, you don't see a lot of what happens, but it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. We really appreciate all the parent support. Nicole, Amanda, Jenny Pinone, who's actually not even with us anymore. Her son graduated. She still handles a lot of our accounting stuff. I really, really appreciate all of your work, but I gotta give a ton of thanks. Where are you at? To Kelly right there. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I'm giving that thanks to everybody, and as we're walking out, somebody reminded me, you didn't thank your wife. And I felt awful.
It was not me that reminded me. I got that one.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Thanks for making me feel bad. But she does an awful lot. Every time that we have an event here, she's at Sam's Club loading up her car with stuff and doing parent volunteer forms and everything. And then also dealing with me and my grumpy son as he's cutting weight for 8 weeks during the season. So I really appreciate it. The Fiorenzas, if you guys have logged onto the website and saw all of the links to the photo sites, okay, they do a great job taking pictures and posting things. And we even have a new photographer this year. May, if you'll just wave, okay? May's Flickr site is amazing. She gets reposted all the time on Instagram from Georgia Grappler and Southeastern Wrestling. So maybe you've got a budding career in photography. So, but like I said, if you go to our website and you scroll down, every event from the Trojan Invitational all the way down to the state tournament, there's picture and video links there, and they're all free downloads for you. Anything that you want. And then the banquet program is on there as well, with a lot of good pictures and different stats and things on there too. So thanks for taking the time to do that, May. Pictures are awesome. All right. Lauren caught one during the state quad after May just dismantled some poor kid. And she's up and she's flexing, and Carter looks like he's levitating in the background, and I'm doing some weird like pose and everything. So it's great. The teachers and admin, they did a good job this year, you guys. Anytime that you had any issues in class, I think they worked with you. Dr. Ritchie and Coach Kelly were at a ton of events. So we got a real supportive admin crew here. I appreciate them. Our coaching staff right here, Matt is
He's over here.
Matt's over there, okay. These guys put a lot of hours in. I think that we got the best coaching staff around. You know, they care about you guys. We're always going back and forth on our little group chat about what we need to do at practice, what we need to fix and do things. So these guys put a lot of effort in. Philip couldn't be here today, so he sends his regards and he'll set to see you guys over the summertime and next season. But Coach Sanchez, Coach Brown, Coach Miles, Coach Stu, Coach New, Murray, and Coach Brantley, like I said, I think you guys are the best staff around, so wouldn't change anything. So just a little recap of the season, okay, which I kind of already touched on a little bit. We started way back October 23rd, I believe it was. So we had 2 weeks of practice. I think that went really well, and then we opened up with our own tournament, which was a heck of a tournament this year. We had 20 teams, and there weren't a whole lot of poor quality teams there. There were multiple state championship teams there, state championship wrestlers, state medalists. So it's a pretty difficult way to open the season up. We did really well there. When we got into December and January, when things really started to matter, okay, the Cobb County tournament, we were runners up by 18 points this year, okay, to Hillgrove, which congrats to them. It was their first time ever as a school winning a county championship, and they had some guys that really wrestled lights out that day. So not to take anything away from them, we just came up a little bit short that day, okay? But still, we had 4 county champions. We got into January, we got to region duels, and we finally got over. Everybody wave at Vic. Region duels at Johns Creek, we finally got over the Pope hump. Okay, we beat them, and that was like the greatest thing ever, beating them in a dual tournament. So the following week, we got to host state quad here, and you know, Morrow, we kind of overwhelmed them a little bit. I was worried about TIF, and we came out and we did what we needed to do. So that secured us a top 8 spot in the state duels. We got the traditional region, which we hosted here. That was a great day for seniors and everything. We won our 2nd consecutive traditional region championship with 4 region champs. We had a girls area champ. Girls don't do regions, they do areas. So there were 32 schools, I believe, in your area. Okay, May was a champion there. So we had 13 sectional qualifiers, 6 state qualifiers, and all 6 state qualifiers came home with hardware. So that's pretty impressive. We were the only team in Cobb County to do that. We scored the most team points at state out of any Cobb County school, and we finished the highest with a 6th place finish in traditional state. So that's pretty impressive, along with 2 state champions. We did have our Cobb coaches meeting last Sunday, and we came away with 4 all-county first team members, 1 second team member, 1 honorable mention, and May was named the sole female wrestler of the year for the county. Last year she was co. This year she's co-1. She's hurt. So those of you that are on the first team, second team, honorable mention, and May, April 16th is the awards banquet for that at Hillgrove High School. So I'll get some information out to you. I'm sure you see all our lines that come through. So I think now we're going to start with our special awards. We're going to do our junior varsity awards first. So as we call your name and you come up, if you would just all stay standing along this line, the coaches will give you. Texan Magnus. Jensen Pates. AJ's not here. Evan Buchanan. Rohan. All right, guys. Next year we expect varsity letters, okay?
All right.
All right, so our varsity letter awards this year, we have a criteria on the website in terms of points. So wrestling varsity matches, winning a varsity match. Wrestling a varsity match, winning a varsity match, winning by tech, winning by pin, placing in certain tournaments. So you have to accumulate so many points. So our varsity letter winners this year, so you can come up as we call your name, and the same format if you'll stay standing up there. Okay? Brody Brantley. So I started coaching Brody about 10 years, 9 years? I think it was the first or second year that I was here. He was about this tall. I could throw him around, and I probably still can. But he's a lot taller than me now, so I stay away from him. Carter Brickley. Jacoby. Dom Fiorenza. Big Vic. Meg. Alice Johnson. Grant. Riley. Our heavyweight. Casey. Samuel. And Jackson. And Isaac. All right, so what Lassiter does is if you're a first-year letter winner, you should have a full letter in your envelope. If you're a multiple time, you get a bar. There should be a wrestler insert on there also. If you're a scholar athlete, there will be a scholarship or a scholar athlete patch in there. If you're a multiple time scholar athlete, there'll be second year, third year, fourth year going down. So everything should be in the envelope. If you guys are missing anything, come see me tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sorry. Evan Diaz. I got blinded looking at it, and I just forgot what I was seeing. All right, guys, congratulations. Guys and girls. So now we're going to get into our special awards, our Scholar Athlete Excellence Award, our Coaches Award, and so on and so forth. And these were all things except the Scholar Athlete Award. Those three were, you guys put the work in on that, and you determined who earned those awards. So first we'll give those away. Our three Scholar Athletes this year. Well, Evan's not here. Oh, okay. So, Evan Buchanan currently has a 4.33 GPA. Carter Brickley currently has a 4.417 GPA. And Isaac has currently a 4.447. Congratulations. So I'm sure that you guys know, but Lassiter is a school of excellence. Our curriculum here is pretty rigorous. So in order, for these guys to put the time in on the mat and off the mat is pretty impressive. So moving forward, I'm going to go out of order just a little bit here. I'm going to give our most improved wrestler of the year. This wrestler, it's his first time wrestling, and he went on to do some pretty good stuff. Ended up being a sectional qualifier. He went on to wrestle at freshman state. Big Vic. Wow, man. Our new award this year, I didn't really want to give a Rookie of the Year award because this person isn't necessarily a rookie, as I was saying earlier, but our Underclassmen Impact Award. So we felt that, looking at a 9th and a 10th grader who really contributed something, and not to say that you all did it. I mean, we wrestled hard this year, all of you, from 9th grade all the way up through seniors. Okay, you guys did a fantastic job. This person just had a couple key wins. One of them actually coming on his birthday. Okay, Brody Brandt. Dad, ever get you that steak pipe on me? No? No, I don't. You blew your chance first. So our coaches awards now, and what we did was I had each coach select one individual. And honestly, guys, if you don't get a coach's award, it doesn't mean that we don't think highly of you. It's just there were one or two things that maybe stood out to us about you individually that we wanted to recognize. So a couple coaches had sent me a few little write-ups, but what I'd really like you to do is after the awards, whichever coach was the one that selected you as a coach's award, if you would just find them individually and just have a conversation with them and thank them. And coaches, if you want to tell them what maybe stood out in your mind with them, will do a better job communicating your message than I would reading it off of a piece of paper. Okay. So Coach News, Coach's Award selection this year goes to Riley. Coach Brown's award this year goes to May Prado. Coach Sanchez selected Isaac. Coach Brantley selected Jacoby. Coach Stu, his email to me said I picked the toughest 78-pounder in the state. Coach Miles selected Jaden. Coach Murray, who's not here, he asked me to speak on this person, and I really don't know too much to say about him. Carter. And my coach's award goes to Samuel. Tamara is very adamant about me calling him Samuel and not Sam.
Yes, I am.
I do have to admit, during matches, it is a lot easier to yell one syllable versus 3. But yeah, from now on, he's Samuel. But no, these are our coaches' awards. So guys, when this is over, if you would just find your coach and just have a conversation with them about, thank them, and coaches, what stuck out in your mind with them. But congratulations, guys. It's not on here, okay, but I did want to recognize, don't sit down yet. I did want to recognize our 2 state champions this year. So now that you sat down, May, if you want to walk all the way back up. And Riley as well. So just a little bit about these two. May is a junior. She has 3 state medals, a 2-time state champ, and people were very scared of her this year. We've gone to numerous tournaments where coaches were either pulled their kid from her bracket or didn't want to wrestle her. I fought pretty hard for her at the Cobb Coaches Banquet because, I mean, there was another state champion from our county, but I felt that May went over and above what was asked for this year. Being a female and wrestling a male is a pretty tall task, and the guys didn't like wrestling May. She sent a couple people for flight lessons in a couple matches. And honestly, without her being in the lineup, I don't know that we necessarily qualified for the Elite 8 state duels. So, congratulations, May. And Riley, he went on a tear after Southern Slam, it was. I don't think he lost since the early part of December. Bonus points galore. If you look at the stat leaders on here, Riley finished up the season leading the team with 48 wins, 33 pins, and 113 takedowns. So I knew that his state title was coming about 30 seconds into his championship match when he took down the wrestler from Lanier, and we looked at him and told him to cut the wrestler, and you could tell that it was kind of like he was hesitant at first, but then he kind of nodded and cut the kid and took him right back down, and it was all over after that. But unfortunately, due to budget constraints with rings this year, we were not able to purchase you your state championship rings. So we decided to settle. I was able to scrounge enough money together for your rings this year. So. Yeah! And Kelly picked them out, so.
Money and a check just for you guys.
Congratulations, Dad. We'll get you regular. To explain, and the second one, we're going to call up a special family to explain and pass out that award. But 2 years ago, we decided to come up with a new award. Instead of the traditional Most Outstanding Wrestler award, which usually every year goes to a person that either has the most wins or the most medals or whatever. We wanted to come up with something else, a new criteria. So Coach New had put together a rubric for us that we grade the wrestlers on certain aspects such as integrity and leadership and humility and teamwork, selflessness, basically the person that puts the we before the me. We've had some really good winners in the past, Anthony Fiorenza, David Pannone, and our third Trojan Warrior Award, name will go up on the board in the wrestling room, goes to Riley. Alright, so it's a pretty nice award. Again, he's in good company up on that board in the wrestling room with some guys. So, congratulations. You really earned that. Thank you. Next, I'd like to call up Kathy and Rodney Metzer for the presentation of the Kevin Metzer Courage Award. It's something that Coach Day, the previous coach before me, had started, and we continued the tradition year after year. I can't do the justice nearly what Mr. and Mrs. Metzer do for Kevin, so I'll let them give you a little background on the story.
I have this, and it looks a bit long, but it's in big print. And I'll talk less time if I'm reading, so. Thank you, Coach Brittany, first of all, for having us back again this year. This is our 13th consecutive year of giving this award out in honor of our son. Hello to the wrestlers, the family and friends, and Lassiter wrestlers that are here tonight. First, I would like to congratulate you on a great year. Your Coach happily lets my husband and myself know how you are doing when we communicate, and you have a very proud coach. My name is Kathy Metzer. I'm the mother of Kevin Metzer. This is his father, Rodney, and his second mom, Kathy Mikulak, is sitting back there. She's been a second mom to dozens of kids who've walked these halls during the years. Kevin graduated class of 2008 from Lassiter. He was your heavyweight wrestler here in his freshman, sophomore, and junior years. He was also a starting left tackle on the football team all 4 years he was here. The previous wrestling coach, Steve Day, named the Kevin Metzer Award to honor the courage that he saw in Kevin, both on and off the mat. Kevin graduated Lassiter in May of 2008. During his days walking these halls, he had great experiences with friends, coaches, and teachers. The relationships he formed here, he kept for the remainder of his life. 4 months after graduating, Kevin was diagnosed with T-cell ALL. That is a cancer of the immune system in your blood. It's the rarest type of ALL. When he checked into Emory Hospital, he was in horrible shape. We were told that if they could get him to live for 48 hours, they could begin a chemotherapy and radiation regimen. He underwent a huge regimen of steroids and antibiotics to keep him alive for those 48 hours. After he spent 33 days in Emory Hospital, he walked out of the hospital in remission. The staff nicknamed him the poster boy for leukemia. He had the courage to stand up to cancer. When he checked out of Emory, he was facing 24 months of chemotherapy and radiation. Kevin's chemotherapy consisted of weekly visits to Emory for infusion chemotherapy, 5-inch needles stabbed into his thigh muscles for a specialized chemo, and spinal taps to insert chemo into his spine. That chemo turned his brick-hard thighs to mush. He also had unlimited blood work, doctor visits, and took up to 52 pills a day, which consisted of chemo, pain pills, muscle relaxants, antidepressants, steroids, antibiotics, and sleeping pills. Every 6 weeks, he had to be readmitted to Emory to receive a high-dose chemo, which would keep him in the hospital for 5 to 6 days. During these treatments, I believe everyone complained except Kevin, and it was mostly about Kevin. He hated it. He was in pain, but he never complained about the pain. But he loudly complained to the doctors and nurses about how late they were running, or they weren't walking fast enough, or they didn't hit his pearl to his heart for the first time with his medicine. Although he could be very loud while in the Emory chemo lab, he was part of a team. He loved being part of a team. He was visited by members of the football team, wrestling team, baseball team, basketball team, lacrosse team, and friends who weren't part of any team except Team Kevin. His teachers and coaches would also visit him a lot in the hospital. Kevin had the courage in life to always be on the side of the underdog. We were lucky enough to vacation a lot during his lifetime. On the occasion when Kevin did not have friends traveling with him, whether on a cruise at the beach or wherever, Kevin would somehow manage to find the person who didn't appear to be part of anybody's team, and that person would become Kevin's team. He was their defender if needed, always. He hated bullies and defended in any way necessary those that were bullied. That was just Kevin. He had the courage to stand up for what he believed was right, anywhere and in any circumstance. He had the courage to get onto the mat with his opponents. When most were ripped with muscles and barely making weight, which during Kevin's time here was 275 and 285, while Kevin at his biggest topped out at around 245. Kevin wasn't ripped, stood at 5'10" and had a childish face. His opponents, when he first started wrestling, thought they would have an easy win, but they didn't know about Kevin's courage. I forgot to say that his thighs were about as big around as your heavyweight waist, and he could squat about 600 pounds. His lower body strength was his asset. Most of his pins were with him on his back, his opponent beneath him. It was something to see. Once he got you in that position and his feet pressed firmly on the mat, with the strength of his legs against you, you would not escape. I can't tell you how many times the ref slapped the mat with Kevin pinning the other wrestler that way. I probably shouldn't say this, but some of the coaches on the other teams made some money off Kevin during those meets, especially out-of-town meets, as coaches knew what Kevin was capable of. He wasn't afraid of what another person was facing looked like or how much bigger they were. He had the courage to believe in himself and what he was capable of doing. He didn't always win, but he always gave it 100%. He tore his MCL 3 times while here at Lassiter. The first during his freshman football year, and he had surgery. Second time was before his senior year. During football practice, he felt and heard a snap, and he hobbled to the car. Same trip to the orthopedist, same surgery. The doctor told Kevin he would not play any football during his senior year or wrestle. But it didn't seem to affect him at all after the doctor told him that. He went to physical therapy 3 to 5 days a week. He went against all odds. The first 5 football games, he stood on the sidelines on crutches, watching his team, giving out congratulations or words of encouragement. With the aid of a custom knee brace and sheer determination, he started Game 6 for Lassiter football. He not only played the entire game, he won Offensive Player of the Week for Cobb County during that game. His courage got him that award. By the end of the football year, his knee braces were not working as well, and we could tell he was in pain, although he never complained. After football was over, a trip back to the orthopedist showed that he had no MCL at all. His knee was bone on bone. He would need an MCL transplant. He decided to put that surgery off until after he graduated. He realized then he would not be able to wrestle his senior year. He was a team player though, and went to most practices and almost every meet. He loved cheering his friends and teammates on. He loved helping the coaches in any way he could. He was fueled off the environment of a team working together. I want to make it clear, and I want to say it loudly, that you should always have the courage to do the extra thing or help that person who needs it, and be respectful to your teachers, your coaches, your parents, and be good to your friends. Do something good for someone you may not know, and if you ever come up against something you aren't sure you can overcome, don't give up. Have the courage to keep pushing and working, and maybe you too can do something you dream of, both on or off the mat. Kevin's fight against cancer was continuing. He was in his 15th month of chemotherapy, with 12 more months to go. He was enjoying his life with his friends. Being normal, he went to bed at a friend's house and did not wake up on Christmas Eve 2009. He was cancer-free, but all the stress the chemotherapy and other drugs had put on his body was too much for him, for his heart. The drugs that cured him eventually took his life. I received a call from his cancer doctor a few days after Christmas and was told God had been good to Kevin, taking him when he did. His chemo had caused severe internal issues we had no idea about. I will never forget the words I heard that day from the doctor. His doctor told me that God had done Kevin a favor. He couldn't tell me if it would have been 5 hours a week or a couple of weeks, but Kevin would certainly have died a very painful death from the unknown situation inside his body. It was very hard for me to hear this. God taking my son was a blessing. It couldn't be, but I thought about my son, and I thank God. Now it was our time to have the courage to live without him. Kevin's family and friends have kept us going, along with Kevin. He wouldn't have wanted it any other way. So set goals, work hard, be just, and never let go of appreciation of everything you have, whether mental or physical. Please have the courage to live life to the fullest and accomplish everything you want. Again, congratulations to all of you for a great year. I'll hand it back to Coach Brickley for the announcement of the winner of the Kevin Metzer Courage Award for work above and beyond, and who also will be awarded the Kevin Metzer Scholarship for help with your college expenses. Thank you very much.
Give me a minute here. This person receiving this award and scholarship today is one of the finest people that I've had a chance to be around. Literally anything that I've ever asked of her, she gets done. And you literally have no idea how much we're going to miss you next year. So, Diana. For those of you that don't know, I'll give you a second to clap here. And those of you that don't know, literally anything that we've asked of Diana for the last 4 years, she's taken care of. iPad stuff, making sure that the medical kit, she was another coach on staff this year. Her attitude, as small as she is, she was fiery. Another coach or a ref or a parent or anybody would give a little bit, she would give it right back. I can't say enough about her. So we decided to hold you back. You're now a fifth-year senior. Okay, you're not allowed to graduate, and go from there. Congratulations again. I got a phone here. So the Valley family is back there. I've been around them for a long time, and they're just really great people. So thank you for loaning us Diana for the last 4 years. Okay, like I said, we might have to hold her back. I might have to go in and fudge her grades in her system. She's now failed. So lastly, on that note, I guess you have to walk back up here. We need to do a manager recognition. So if I could have all of our managers come up right now. Alexa, Cameron, Jocelyn, and Alex. Being a wrestling manager is not fun. It's not glorious. Okay, you have to get up as a crack-a-dawn just like the wrestlers and ride a cold bus and sit in the stands and deal with smelly guys and clean up blood and all kinds of nasty stuff. And at the end of the day, you really don't get too much thanks. Okay? And this is a perfect example of how I'm going to be lost without Diana next year, is that I left all of your letters in Coach Kelly's office that I don't have the key to. And it's your fault because you're leaving. All right? So tomorrow morning at 8:30 when the office is unlocked, I will get them and get them to you. So I apologize, okay? But you'll be getting letters and manager bars and certificates and everything. So, but these girls are amazing. I appreciate it. So thank you. Okay. If you'll see on the if you'll see on the back of the last page of our pamphlet, is next year's varsity schedule. I'm still working on our JV schedule, and it's not official yet. So if you repeat this, I have to say that it's not true. But Cobb County is going to hire a head wrestling or a head women's wrestling coach next year, and a head JV wrestling or a head women's assistant coach for next season. So we're still working on the details on that. Nothing's finalized, but we should have a full female schedule next year. Like I said, I'm still unsure of the details. They haven't announced everything, but so next year we will have a varsity schedule, a JV schedule, and a women's schedule. Okay. But if you'll see that we do, I didn't want to switch things up. We've been doing the same schedule year in and year out, and year in and year out. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit next year. We added Mountain Dew duels. Instead of going to Greenville, we're going to go to the Macaulay tournament in Chattanooga. We're doing a Christmas duel tournament at Marist. And instead of going to the Lambert tournament, Jefferson is going to host a 64-team tournament over 2 days. So we're gonna go to that. So varsity wrestlers on this schedule alone, there's about 62 matches worth of experience on there. So you'll get your fill of mat time next season. Okay. Now with that being said, I know that you guys are busy in the spring and in the summer and in the fall. okay? And I get the grind of winter wrestling is a lot, okay? But I can promise you that if you put the time in the off season, it will pay off during the regular season, okay? I'm not saying that you need to wrestle 7 days a week or even 5 days a week, but if you don't put wrestling shoes on from now until next October, I don't know what expectations you have about being that successful, okay? If you look at all of the wrestlers that are winning the medals, that are being on top of the podium, they're putting the time in freestyle, they're going to the summer camps, they're doing the fall wrestling, they're taking care of themselves during wrestling season. So, I put together a summer practice schedule for us. We are attending team camp at Ohio State the last week in June. Freestyle Olympics starts today. Okay, today down at Level Up. Coach Donovan has done a great job with our guys and girls down there. So just take advantage of the opportunities that are provided. I know that you're trying to balance school and maybe a spring sport and a job or whatever, but put your expectations in line with the amount of work that you want to put in. Okay, it was Terry Brands that said, you get what you earn, and that's really true. Nobody's really promised or guaranteed anything in wrestling, well, even in life. So if you don't put the effort in, I don't think that you should really expect the rewards out of it. Okay, I'll leave that there. I know you guys in the past have done a great job of doing stuff in the off season and in the summer, but I think in order for us to replicate what we've done the last 3 years, we really need to get participation on board. Okay, let me know about team camp. I'll keep sending some messages out. I know you'll have seen those remind messages all the time, right, Nicole? Seniors, you are relieved of that after today. You will no longer get remind messages from me after today. I know that's terrible, right? So with that being said, if I could get all of the senior wrestlers and parents up here one last time for a picture, I'd really appreciate it. Make sure that when you leave, you take your photo boards, banners. There's still like 4 dozen cupcakes over there. Hell, you way overordered. Way overordered. Carter's gonna get them all now. No. But if I could get all the senior wrestlers and parents up here now and coaches, so we can take one last picture.
And then cookie cake.
Everybody being here in a good season. He won't take credit for this, so I'm going to speak for him, but Coach Brickley does a lot for this program. Has a lot of pride in this program, sets us up with the best tournaments to make you guys and ladies wrestle some of the best competition, which gives us the results at the end of the year we want. We don't go to the cupcake tournaments, we go to the tough ones. Okay? It's not always about winning every tournament, it's about getting better. Okay? This man takes a lot of his time setting up the gym. There's times we have like 6, 7 mats in there. He does that by himself sometimes. Okay, he does the laundry. Okay, make sure the mats are clean, sets a schedule. Okay, everything he does with sending communications out, great communicator. So like I said, he won't do this, but I want to give this recognition to him. He's a good man, does a lot for this program and this school. So thanks a lot, Coach Brady.
So again, thank you all for coming. We're under an hour. Okay. I heard football banquets were a lot longer, right? So again, thank you all for coming. If you didn't scan the QR code, make sure that you save a copy of that PowerPoint, the banquet pamphlet. A lot of good pictures in there. Seniors, take all of your stuff over there, and congratulations. We'll see you back next year.
All right.